Let's go to the House Equality Act that was passed about 2 hours before we started doing this show. So the House passed sweeping legislation prohibiting discrimination on the basis of sex, sexual orientation, and gender identity. Lawmakers passed the legislation on a 224 to 206, mostly party line vote. 3 Republicans voted with all Democrats. Okay, and the bill is one of President Joe Biden's top
only
legislative.
3 Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Only 3 Republicans voted in favor.
Yeah, but that's not shocking to me.
Oh God.
The legislation amends civil rights laws, including the landmark Civil Rights Act of 1964, which had banned discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, and national origin, to include protections on the basis of sex, sexual orientation, and gender identity. It would also prohibit such discrimination in public places, on transportation, and in government-funded programs. Right. So that's the basis of the bill. Who knows if it'll pass the Senate? But I'm going. First, let me get your thoughts, Shannon.
On the bill, I think it's great. I think it's great. So does this mean that people can't discriminate? Like there's a couple of things with gender identity, like bathrooms, sports teams. Does that mean like all that stuff is going to get addressed now? This bill?
I mean, it should.
Okay. Yes, this is great. Great.
I think this is going to turn out to be one of the most destructive pieces of legislation ever passed.
Oh my God. Here we go. Why?
I do.
Why?
For a couple of reasons.
That was my dog.
Oh.
There's no way you thought that was me.
I was like, why is Shannon barking like that? So here's what I'm going to read you something. Some conservatives have expressed concerns that the legislation could infringe upon religious liberty. I don't really care about that argument. Or lead to inequality in athletic competitions if transgender women compete against cisgender women.
Yes,
that is where I am going with this. I'll take it a step further. I don't believe we should be voting on things before we have the public debate about it, right? And so I've been pushing back on this whole trans women on women stuff. I don't believe it. I think it is dangerous to say that trans women are the same as biological women. I believe biological women deserve to have their own spaces when it comes to bathrooms, when it comes to sports and competition, when it comes to homeless shelters as well. I don't think people realize how much we separate men and women in this country for obvious reasons. And this bill, whether it is the intended consequence or not, is going to reshape things that people haven't thought through yet or have conversations about. And that's why I think this is going to be one of the most destructive pieces of legislation. Like so many poor and low income girls depend on sports scholarships to get into college, right? If you're competing against transgender women, you're not going to win these races. It don't matter how good you are. I'm sorry. You're not going to win a race against somebody who was born a male. You're not going to win in a boxing match.
Yes.
You're not. And so what you are going to have.
Yep.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, I'm not raising my hand. I'm just doing.
So what you're going to have is you're going to have a situation where people who are born female are going to begin to lose out on opportunities because they are competing against people who were born male, and people are pretending like this is not something that we should be worried about. I think they're lying to themselves and they're fooling themselves. And so I felt very uncomfortable passing legislation when we haven't even had the public debate yet. What we have now are trans activists and who dictate what we should do and how we should feel by saying things like trans women are women. And if you think otherwise, you're transphobic. My argument is, so what? If that makes me transphobic, who cares? The argument that I'm making is all that matters. And there hasn't been a single person or a single argument that I've heard or read or listened to. Heard and listened to the same thing. Heard, read, or watched that has convinced me that I should not be worried that we are not erasing the obvious line in the sand between males and females, which matters. It matters. It matters. And for what? 5% of the population? No, I'm not down with it. I'm not down with it at all. And I'm glad that feminists seem to be backing me on this more and more. You're having a split between, feminists who agree with the trans movement, and you have feminists now who are pushing back against the trans movement. And so those are my allies.
Okay. Well, I agree with you on some points. I disagree with you on a majority of it. I do agree that that especially in sports, that there is a disadvantage for cisgendered women who are going up against transgendered women when it comes to competing in sports and stuff. I agree that there is a disadvantage there. However, I don't think it's right to ban people from sports if they love to play sports, but they identify if they're a man that identifies as a woman. I don't agree that they should be banned from playing sports.
Why not, Shannon? If I wanted to compete
because
against
you can't,
no, hold on. If I wanted to compete against you in a race, right, and I identify as a female, is that fair?
I mean, no, there's probably a disadvantage, but I just don't know that it's fair to just ban people from playing sports just because of how they identify. Like that, there's something not right morally about that. And I don't really know what the answer to that problem is. I don't know what the answer is.
No.
I'm just saying that it's not.
There's an easy answer.
Oh, my Lord.
There's an easy answer. It's called keep your ass out of women's sports.
Oh, my God. Okay.
It's true. See, Shannon, here's why I got to be as strong as I am in my argument. Because Shannon's opinion is already shared by the vast majority of these people who are taking over. There's not an oppositional voice right now. There's not. And so I have to make myself the bad guy because somebody has to start making sense of all this stuff, okay? Y'all here advocating for people who were born males to be put in women's prisons. You help me make sense of that, Shannon. No, help me, seriously. It'll make... How are you going to erase your own people, Shannon? Aren't you a woman?
Yes. I mean, I don't think you're a racing woman. I think that's a little bit drastic, but whatever. I see what you're saying about that. I'm saying no. I recognize that there is a potential problem, but I'm just saying that I don't know what the definite solution is. That's what I'm saying. I just don't think that it's fair to exclude people because
why? We do it all the time. Can I follow you? Can I follow you into a bathroom, Shannon?
No, you
cannot. Why not?
Because you're a man.
All right, then. So we exclude people.
Okay, but that's different.
How?
Listen.
No. You're going to defend this argument because, see, here's the problem. Shannon's side is able to get away with all this stuff because all they do is give you feelings and statements and slogans. No. You defend. You just said it feels wrong to exclude people. I'm saying I would love to follow Shannon into a bathroom, right?
No. Now, I'm saying it feels wrong to exclude people because they identify a certain way.
Shannon, I identify as a woman. I am a woman. I am.
Well, you're just saying that. It's not true. Okay, but I understand your point.
You don't know that. First of all, you don't know that, Shannon.
First of all, I know it's not true because you just made a whole argument against trans people.
Not their existence.
No, not their existence. But you just said that you don't understand it, so I know that you don't identify as a woman.
No. What I'm saying. Let me make my argument clear. Okay. I'm not saying that trans people don't exist, though most of you aren't really trans. It's just true. It's built into the evidence, by the way, and we're going to get into it later on the show. But my argument is that we shouldn't be erasing women. Now, I'm not going to let you duck this conversation. You said there's something wrong with excluding people if they identify as something. And so if I'm clearly a man, right? In your eyes, I'm a man. But I could easily call myself a woman if I want to.
Yes, I see what you're saying.
No. So you tell me why I should not be allowed to follow you into a bathroom.
Oh my God. Okay, I understand the point you're trying to make. I acknowledge that there is a problem, that there's a potential problem with this, and I said I don't know what the solution is.
The solution is trans.
I don't agree with your solution to the problem.
You don't even heard my solution. See, the dog agrees. The dog agrees. You don't even heard my solution.
Okay, so what is your solution?
Trans people need their own category.
Like for okay,
it's true.
Yes, we talked about this before too. For sport, maybe for restrooms, like gender neutral restrooms, there need to be more of those because I don't think that there's enough gender neutral bathrooms. What about for sports though? You said that trans people make up less than 5% of the population. So how is it fair to give them their own league where they still might not be able to play sports if there's not enough people?
Oh, then you can't compete.
That's not fair.
It is fair. It's fair to the rest of us. And by the way, here's the thing. Look, you have to compete against the people you were born as. It's just true. Look, it can make you uncomfortable as it is. There's a reason why men and women don't compete against each other, because men would dominate everything. Literally every athletic sport, Shannon, a woman, Serena Williams, in some people's eyes, is the greatest tennis athlete ever. She will get smoked by an average male tennis player. You know why? Because physical differences. The same thing is true with basketball, baseball, any volleyball. It doesn't matter. And so we can't be getting rid of these divisions to protect people's feelings. Science matters. Biology matters. These things matter. And that's just me talking about the analog world, right? So those are physical differences between male and female. I'll go a step further. I don't think it's healthy for us to be following these people down all these other roads. Like I will never, I'm gonna say this on this show. I would never, ever call an individual person they or them.
Okay, well, I wholeheartedly disagree with you there.
I know you do. I know you do.
If somebody chooses to not identify as any gender and they want to be called they, them, I'm going to call them they, them. What is the problem with that?
Can I ask you a question?
What?
Is Rachel Dolezal black?
No.
Even if she identifies as black?
No.
Why not?
Because she's not black.
Okay,
I'm tired of this argument. I'm tired of it.
What argument?
Okay, but that has nothing to do with anything. If somebody wants to be, I mean, it does have something to do with it, but
wow,
I feel like the two arguments are different.
How?
If somebody doesn't want to identify as anything, then what is the problem with referring to them as they, them?
Shannon, these people are degrading. You know what it is, Shannon? And I don't think you can see the forest from the trees. Here's what's happening, and you don't even know about it, right? I just told you about what they're trying to do to Mr. Potato Head, right? What Mr. Potato Head did to anybody? Nothing.
Oh my God.
But this is important because you don't think these people are coming for us. They are coming. Here's why. We agree on what things are. It's the only way for us to have conversations, right? This is a microphone, correct?
Yes.
Now, in order for me and you to talk about this microphone, we would have to start from a baseline of this being a microphone. Otherwise, we won't be able to talk about this. My point is, these words that we have created, they mean things. It's very important for them to continue to mean things in order for us to have a conversation. If you look like a woman, you are her or she. Who cares what you identify as? Why is that important? Because if you killed somebody and the police ask me, okay, give me a description, I'm going to say she did this, her. Those are the pronouns that I'm going to use. Pushing this thing where it is acceptable to call an individual person they or them, which is used primarily to talk about a multitude of people. No, it's the degradation of language. It's the blurring of categories that is part of this campaign that they're trying to do. I completely reject. I'm gonna say this with my effect on. I reject Shannon's ideology. I want that to be out there. This is one of the cases where me and Shannon have the clearest right line between us. Okay, this is part of this is what the communists do. This is what Shannon's doing. Okay. Get rid of the categories. Get rid of all of this stuff. Ain't no such thing as man and woman. Oh yeah, no such thing as race.
No. Listen to me. I'm not saying that we need to get rid of the categories. I said to you earlier that I don't agree with them getting rid of the Mr. from Mr. Potato Head. I'm saying to you that if somebody tells me that they want to be referred to as they, them, then I will refer to them as they, them. I'm not trying to get rid of gender pronouns altogether. I'm just saying if somebody tells you that they identify as this, then I'm gonna respect that they want to identify as that. But I don't agree that we should erase those gender lines from just generically from the world. But if an individual comes up to me and tells me that, then that's what I would refer to them as.
If I'm not doing that, if Rachel Dolezal asked you to refer to her as black, would you?
No, this is different. I'm talking about gender.
How is it different?
I'm talking about gender.
No, I understand. I'm asking you though, why would you do it for gender, but you won't do it for race? I'm just asking you a simple question.
I just view them as different things, and I don't know. They're just different. It
doesn't bother you that you don't have a intellectual argument?
No, not for this. It's just different. Not for this though. It's just different. It's just different.
I want to comfortable that you go through the world like that, but we're going to move on. It would it would bother me if I did not have a logical explanation as to why I would not refer to somebody's race by what they claimed it would be, but I would do it for gender. I would feel uncomfortable why I'm okay with one but not okay with the other. When, in my opinion, the harm is the same. Like, yes, all of these things are social constructs to a certain degree, like black, white, even yes, but we have categories for a reason. How would we make sense of the world if black and white were not agreed upon things?
Listen. All I'm gonna say to this is that I know the harm that is done to people who feel like they can't, like people who, to the trans community, if they feel like they identify one way and society doesn't recognize that. I understand. I know firsthand because I know people, and I know the harm that causes, and I am basing my argument off that, and that's all I'm gonna say.
I know trans people too. I went to school with somebody who was trans. Matter of fact, somebody who became a trans woman after school. I'm not gonna say their names, so I'm not putting nobody's business out there. Mm-hmm. Here's a harsh reality people are gonna have to just get down with. A personal relationship with somebody does not change my argument. It just doesn't. And who's saying that a trans person cannot go through the world by their new identity? That wasn't my argument. I didn't say that someone who is male and transitions to female, if she looks like a woman, I'm going to call her and she. My argument was against the they them specifically. So I wanted to make that distinction clear. But I will not back down from my argument that I made that is based off of science, that is based off of data. It doesn't care about your feelings. And this is the one area where me and Shannon disagree because we both feel strongly about this. But I'm not backing down from this. And this for 2021, I can clearly see the way this year is going. This is going to be one of my battles, like one of my things for the year.
I hope it is. I hope that you are just bothered by this forever, Jabia.
I don't know. When I said battles, I mean I'm taking my battle to these people. Oh, that's the difference. Okay. I'm not on the defense because if we leave things as they are trying to destroy the bedrock of civilization to protect their own personal feelings. And this is not even built on the fact that I think, and there's good research to back this up. And we're not going to get to the rest of our stuff because we're 58 minutes into this because Shannon kept driving the car down weird places this podcast. Yeah, because we're going to talk about the movie theaters and all this random stuff.
Yeah, but I only asked a simple question. You're the one that dragged it out into a whole 10-minute monologue.
Even this conversation not supposed to be this long. But here's what I'm going to say. I don't think this is going to bother Shannon a lot, but I'm going to say it. I don't think we have even come to the conclusion about how much of this stuff is actually real.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
I'm going to say it. I don't think the trans issue should be viewed through the same lens as the gay and lesbian lens. It's thrown together. I don't. When I look at the trans issue, and I look at the data, to me, just to me, it seems like it's a lot closer to a mental health issue.
Wow. Okay.
I'm just going to say it. That's how I feel about it.
Okay. That's how you feel. That's
how I feel about it.
We fundamentally, at the core, disagree about this.
Yes, Shannon disagrees with me wholeheartedly. Yes, any anger that you have to the past 20 minutes should go. I want all the smoke. It goes to. I want all the smoke. Shannon disagrees. She probably thinks that I'm some Neanderthal, but I'm the one coming to y'all with facts and data. So, like I said, this is one of my issues that I'm going to take the fight to in 2021 to defend civilization. We are 59 minutes in, so we have to end the show, courtesy of Shannon driving us all around the safari today. You have anything else you want to say, Shannon?
Nope. I'm done for today. I'm done.